Hey everyone, welcome as we continue our study through the New Testament, looking at the New Testament church. And today we're looking at John's closing remarks, and this comes from 2 John 1, 12 through 13. And this just closes this chapter up. Like I said, this is the shortest letter that we have in the New Testament, and it's really brief. And so we'll finish these two verses and then kind of look at the notes. It says, I have much more to say to you, but I don't want to do it with paper and ink, for I hope to visit you soon and talk with you face to face. Then our joy will be complete. Greetings from the children of your sister, chosen by God. And so, like I said, really short, not a lot in this one, and just finishing this letter up, and so he kind of uses a couple of things that we're familiar with. The Old English idiom that we have, face to face. It has the same meaning in the Greek, right? He's like, okay, I have a lot that I wanted to say to you, but I'd rather do it in person. And so that's what that means there. And he talks about their joy, or our joy, being complete. And one of the things he focuses on is how our relationships, right, with Christ is not merely a private experience. We experience the fullest joy in worship with other believers when we come together and worship with the other believers. And I think it's important to point that out and to look at that. And then he talks about from the children of your sister. He uses some language in this. Um, that makes it, he's talking about a sister church, and stuff like that. Again, the way he started this letter out, but this is more than likely is referring to the sister church in Ephesus, that he was and its members, and that's where John was staying at the time. And so you can see that in verse 1. But yeah, and so he's just using kind of a metaphor here for the church and how that do it. And so John lived in that region. He served as an elder for several of the churches in that area, and so that's why he used language like this, and that's why he would write to these different churches in this area and kind of look after them. And so what we see, we're going to be tomorrow. We're going to go into the greetings. We're going to look at Third John. We'll finish it up again. Again, another shorter letter, not as short as Second John, but it's not as long as First John. And then after that, we're going to dive into Revelations, and we'll finish this out like the idea around this was to finish this right at the end of the year, but it looks like we'll probably go into January a little bit, just because there's a lot in Revelation. It's a longer book, and there's a lot in it to try to go through and to hash out. And so I think it'll be a good study. But as always, I appreciate everyone who takes time to watch these. I hope y'all enjoy these. I hope they're helpful. Again, I know there's not a lot of it with some of these, when we finish them just like this, but hopefully just you get a little bit of information out of them, each one of them. And I encourage you to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so. And as always, I appreciate everyone who takes time to watch these, and I hope y'all have a wonderful day.